Hi, Susan. I wanted to comment on your post for the week because I enjoyed reading what you had found intriguing about the research article and the comparison of the two studies, as well as how you would change or adapt the studies to make them better. So we did have some similarities, but some differences as well in posts. And, I think your post helped me to kind of reach further and see further into some different perspective, which I enjoyed. The one aspect that we did talk about in the similarity was the relationship with God and how that really wasn't discussed in either of the studies, yet seemed to be a very big component that was lacking, for making this maybe a more generalizable study, or allowing it to have just more of a basis. So, I really enjoyed how you talked about how you would start with that intensive questions about the relationship with God and how you would do more of that interview format versus the survey. I really liked that because then you can obtain, more of the information from that person asking those follow-up questions, and really dig deeper into what that looks like and what influences them. And then you can really find how that portrays into their psychological well-being and so forth. I think one thing that you had talked about was you would start doing it in more highly religious communities, whereas I talked about maybe doing it among different diverse groups. I talked about doing, looking at the different religions and what those looked at, and even asking people without that religious background, what that would look like, and where that relationship is or why there isn't one, and how that impacts their psychological well being, versus only looking at somebody that is highly religious. And then I think, too, in that, while that is something that would definitely be interesting, I wonder how you would identify or define someone as being highly religious and what that would look like. Would that be kind of like you said, just pastors, rabbis, and priests, or would that be just different people who attend church but are actively engaged? So I think that was a really interesting element that you had added that I didn't. As well. I also really liked how you took it a step further, putting your own personal application into what you found intriguing. In the relation to the attachment to God, and the relationship, and how you've heard people, refer to God as a father, but what does that look like when comparing it as like my father to their biological father, and how that relationship works and what people identify as that. And I think that was a big component too that was missed in the research studies that could have really had more of an impact. And I really enjoyed how you put in there needing to define that so that it can be measured. So I think you really had a lot of great points within your discussion board. Like I had said, looking at that attachment and the relationship are two really big pieces, and you really helped me to kind of see something from a different perspective than what I was thinking. So I appreciated that. So thank you again for your discussion board, and I hope you have a wonderful night.